The Aurora ship crashed on the planet 4546b after being shot down by the quarantine enforcement platform while doing a gravity slingshot maneuver around planet 4546b. The Aurora was a newly built long-range capital ship owned by Alterra, with a crew of 157, of which 23 were part of the command team, 85 of the engineering team, 40 of the support crew and 9 were passengers. Its main mission was to carry a phase gate bound to the Ariadne arm and build the phase gate, so Alterra could operate it and outmaneuvered a cabal of Mongolian corporations, operating a range of outposts and mines in the region. Also, it had an auxiliary mission, to locate and confirm the fate of the Degasi crew members, a Mongolian vessel lost in the proximities of planet 4546b a decade before the Aurora incident. 4 days after the crash, a quantum detonation occurred after the Aurora's drive core reached critical state. We are going to explore what's left of the ship on this guided tour. In the state it was in after Aurora's only survivor Riley Robinson was here, we haven't touched anything, except for the firefighting. Also, the Aurora is still unstable, and this tour can be dangerous, so join us at your own risk. If you have any questions, please ask me at the end of the visit. We enter the remains of the Aurora through its upper entrance, for which we will have to cross this makeshift bridge, carefully because it is very unstable and we could fall several meters down. After going down this corridor, on the right we can find the administration office. And here we are. This room is not very interesting, apart from the prawn soup poster that we can see on the wall, and the data terminal. As is known, it is possible to scan the shelves and the table and chairs that can be found in this and other rooms of the Aurora, although it is not necessary since we have all the blueprints. We are now going very carefully to the cargo bay, which we will be able to find at the end of this corridor, once we have moved through the many obstacles. As we can see, the flooring of the hallway leading to the cargo bay is collapsed, so we must head down. Riley opened this door in his journey. He had to do a lot of research to figure out this and other codes for various doors inside the Aurora. We haven't been able to completely extinguish the fire in this area, but we can go through the same path that Riley must have made in his wake. The fragments and PDAs that were in this room must have been taken by Riley. In the cargo bay, we can see many cargo craters, something we would expect to find here. Cargo craters were full of Alterran supplies, and they got scattered around the crater after the crash of the Aurora. We have to be careful now, because the next area leading to the Seamoth Bay is flooded. The door to the Seamoth Bay must have been opened by Riley too. Here we can find some pieces of Seamoth vehicles. You probably know that the Seamoth is a one-person fast and safe means of transportation, with a top speed of 13 meters per second, and a varying crush deep from 200 to 900 meters below sea level. Nevertheless, Alterra reminds us that swimming is good for our glutes and endorphin levels. At the end of this corridor, we will find the drive room. The drive room contains the ship's drive core, comprised of 4 large reactors, connected by catwalks. The Aurora's drive core was shielded by a thick metal shell, which breached in multiple locations shortly after the crash. Once breached, it continued to leak radiation into the surrounding environment until the breaches were sealed by Riley. After that point, the radiation in the environment dissipated over time. Oh, Riley left this module behind, maybe he didn't need it. This room is flooded and the water has been taken by the bleeders, so be careful. Now we must retrace our steps to go to the locker room at the end of this corridor, and then right. We will pass through a door that Riley also had to cut through, using his laser cutter. In the locker room we can still find plenty of batteries, first aid kits, and bottles of filtered water, but not the PDAs the crew left behind, which Riley took. These lockers are different from the ones that can be built with the Altera's blueprints we all have loaded onto our personal PDAs. Across that door is the prawn bay. Here we can see still some once functional prawn suits hanging from the ceiling, and some broken prawn suit fragments. Prawn suits, pressure-reactive waterproof nanosuits, are a range of mesh designed to protect the pilot from extreme environments. Fully insulated from the outside environment, with powerful hydraulic limbs, rear-mounted thrusters, and the possibility of a range of modifications, it's got we covered. But we must remember, as Altera says, that it is normal when first piloting a prawn suit to feel a sense of limitless power, and that prawn operators receive weeks of training to counteract this phenomenon, but we will have to make do with self-discipline. Next on our tour are the living quarters. The habitation section had accommodation for 150 people. The truth is that we wonder where the remaining 7 crew members would sleep. Also, there were multiple canteens and leisure facilities including VR suite and virtual cinema that have been lost in the crash of the Aurora. This is a standard crew dormitory, equipped with 4 or 5 beds and the corresponding lockers. We can also see carry-alls, supply crates, and some materials that Riley didn't consider useful at the time he passed through here. Another crew room. In this open locker, we can see a drawing of a young woman, probably a relative or friend of one of the residents. We can see that the rooms were decorated with posters and other pieces of graphic art. This room is inaccessible, so let's follow the corridor. Here in this locker, we can find again the same drawing of the same young woman as in the previous room, which could mean several relatives among the crew, or perhaps the girl is a celebrity we cannot recognize. We are now going to see a peculiar room, equipped with an electronic lock that Riley must have also opened. In this single room we can find a blue cap, and in this locker it seems to be the Arcade Gorge toy, whose coincidence with a character from an old video game has been suggested by researchers. Attention here, there are damaged cables hanging from the ceiling. The captain's quarters, also a single room in which we can find a poster of the Aurora ship, as well as a data terminal that contained data relevant to Riley. There's also a model of the Aurora that has been perfectly preserved. Some of the cabins remain closed at the moment. In this room, we can find again several beds, benches, lockers, and the same poster that we found a few rooms ago. And again, the same drawing of the mysterious young woman. Now follow me back to the entrance of the living quarters to visit the canteen. The canteen was serving healthy, fresh and rehydrated food. There is a vending machine here, offering 3 different types of snacks. And here we can find the menu for the day the Aurora crashed. Back at the prawn bay, we can see a large system of pipes and wires in the water through what was once the prawn bay floor. Let's swim down there to get to the room that contains the data from Aurora's black box. From the prawn bay, Riley noted a faint black box signature originating on the other side of the hull breach. The black box data was recovered at the time by Riley. Our final destiny is the laboratory. Let's go through another door opened by Riley with his laser cutter. The entrance to the laboratory was too protected with a coded lock. Scattered around the lab, we can find some sample flasks, a microscope, a sample analyzer, and supply crates. There is also a data terminal whose information has also been downloaded by Riley. Watch out here, the ceiling in this room has collapsed. Let's take advantage of the space created to go out here. And so we have reached the end of the visit. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I was wondering about the other survivors.
No questions?
I have a question.
Okay, we hope you enjoyed the visit and found it interesting. Until next time.